Good to see you guys. I'm a bit blind, so I can't see anything. But what I do see is hardly anything. Very blurry.
This was the Go Fast rocket launched in Arizona. It went, and again, uninterrupted footage. NASA or SpaceX, watch any launch. Within the first 10 or 15 seconds, there's at least half a dozen cuts. Movie cut, different angle, because it's all a production.
Don't you think this is a production, Dave?
This thing went straight up, and if you could hear the sound on this, it went kerplunk, like a stone going into a pond.
The founder of the so-called civilian space exploration team happened to be a special effect artist. Guy Michelson, SFX artist en stuntman en amateur rocketeer. Oh, the Rocket Man. Here, Guy worked on over 200 films and TV shows, including Burt Reynolds' Stick, Hooper and Smokey and the Bandit. CSXT, Civilian Space Exploration Team. And in 1996 he became involved with NASA and DARPA. Yeah. How do you know this was real, Dave? Or you want others to think it's real?
It went into a thicker medium, and it started floating really strange, and then the sound changed, but you heard it go into a thicker medium, some sort of plasma or something.
Oh, in a thicker medium. And it might be plasma? What an idiot.
Another thing that happened is the moon. We could see the moon.
I see something. What about it? That looks like a moon.
And on top of that, you could actually see the moon.
Well, the moon, we looked it up, was over in New Zealand at that time. So
I checked the moon data on July the 14th, 2014, at the time of this launch. Yeah, it's about overhead on New Zealand.
Arizona, if Arizona's right here, that rocket at altitude is literally 1/4 of a millimeter off of here. The moon was down here.
And here we are in New Mexico, where the moon was still visible, Dave.
So the moon should have been on the other side. Okay.
The moon they should not have been able to see the moon because the moon,
right,
the moon was down here.
Looks more like an onion.
Okay.
And there's the moon right across the flat Earth plane.
Right.
Do you see that, Dave? You're full of shit. I'm not defending the globe or so, but you have to be honest when you do some kind of true thing. Here, the moon in New Mexico. Azimuth 247, altitude 12.08. You're full of shit, Dave. Of course, with an altitude of 12, the moon is still visible, idiot.
Okay.
From launch until it hits the so-called plasma layer or dome or whatever this idiot want to claim is 57 seconds. 72 miles in 57 seconds. 4,500 miles per hour. So Dave, you really think that rocket had 4 times the speed of a 9mm bullet? You're an imbecile. Can you believe that people, a so-called flat earther that pretend to be very smart, telling us a rocket can travel 4 times the speed of a 9mm bullet. He pushing deliberate bullshit on the flat earthers. 4 times the speed of this bullet. You want me to speed this video up? Times 4, idiot. Here is your go fast speed.
It curved, yeah.
It curved out and crashed into the ocean in the Bermuda Triangle where there's no boats.
Yeah, it takes an arc, goes out of view, and then goes to Point Nemo or the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, that's usually what happens.
They're helium-filled, show rockets, and they crash right into the Bermuda Triangle. This is a helium balloon.
They fall in the ocean, correct? Usually in Point Nemo, just dumping it in Point Nemo and having the actual real Satelloon up in the sky.
They all go up, and they go right out into the Bermuda Triangle, and they're out of sight, and they crash into the ocean.
Always curving down into the Bermuda Triangle.
And when these rockets go up, they just go out and they crash into Bermuda Triangle where nobody kind of hangs out there. Weird that that's a not occupied place. And if somebody is out there by chance, by accident, that got through, the restricted area, they might just disappear. And the Bermuda Triangle got someone else.
Bermuda Triangle, isn't it?
And Point Nemo.
And they launch something. And I say it's a helium, something filled with helium, and then it goes out into the Bermuda Triangle, and it crashes, and nobody's out there. But if somebody sneaked into the restricted area and did see something incriminating, there's just another victim of the Bermuda Triangle that shouldn't have been in there in the first place.
They literally launched it, and when it went out of view, it went to what they call Point Nemo. It's even known as the spaceship graveyard.
Flatzoid, you really think those rockets fly from California, from Van den Berg Air Force Base to Point Nemo? Are you stupid? Flatzoid, you really think that spot, that Point Nemo, is a graveyard for rockets that they launch in California? Are you really that stupid? Or you only want others to believe it?
Some of the times they're launching balloons,
Point Nemo.
and it goes up and it crashes in the Bermuda Triangle, and that's the end of it.
Going up and arcing down into Point Nemo, correct?
Flatzoid, this shit makes no sense. This is only a couple of minutes into the flight. So double that time and this thing would crash on Earth. Idiot. Do you really think this fly 10,000 kilometers and crash into the ocean almost 10,000 kilometers south? Or you want others to believe that? It's more likely the stuff they launch totally burn up because nobody ever sees something coming down.
Very easy to go and dump a rocket in the middle of the ocean where no one can actually verify where it is.
They curve over rather quickly and they crash in the Bermuda Triangle. That's what the whole Bermuda Triangle is about. They don't want anybody out there when they're crashing rockets.
Point Nemo. Do you know where Point Nemo is? Do you know what a spaceship graveyard that is?
All the rockets crashed into the Bermuda Triangle, and nobody is ever on one of them.
Let's put it this way, how much planes, even submarines, have just disappeared in the oceans that they can't find? So tell me, do you think anybody's going to find this so-called space junk they're just dropping off in the middle of the ocean somewhere?
Point Nemo.
Exactly. Look how fast.
Well, that's what the Bermuda Triangle hoax was all about, wasn't it? To keep our people out of that area.
Yep.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yep. Like a real echo chamber. So that must be a dangerous place. The Bermuda Triangle.
Because you just dump it in the middle of the ocean, what are the chances that anybody's going to go and have the resources to look for any of...
Because it's a little bit desolated. They can launch rockets from Florida and dump in the Bermuda Triangle. And because of there are no boats in the area, nobody see it. Yeah, that's logic.
They launch something, it goes up into the sky and it crashes out in the Bermuda Triangle or Point Nemo.
Point Nemo.
There's places in the ocean where nobody is and they just crash these things there.
Spaceship graveyard, that is. The rocket got up. Congratulations, but the rocket's sitting at Point Nemo at the moment, Phil. You know, in the bottom of the ocean.
And then it curves out and goes over the ocean and disappears. It basically just crashes into the Bermuda Triangle.
The Orion has never ever left Earth. It has gone to what you call Point Nemo.
Flatzoid, according to you, they launched this rocket from Cape Kennedy. And then it went in this direction, to your Point Nemo. No, they launched that thing in this direction, Flatzoid, east. And then make 1 or 2 rotations around the Earth and then goes to the moon, according to the claims. Flatzoid, according to the space idiots, it does 2 orbits in this motion and goes to the moon. Oh, Flatzoid, you think they launched it from here? And then it made this orbit. And plunged it in the ocean, somewhere here. Flatzoid, moron. It not went in this direction, Flatzoid. Do you understand that? And that's like 9,500 kilometers. Why your steady members or your panel members not call you out on your bullshit? This one now looks pretty smart. BJ Crankshaft. He looks a little bit like he was bullied at school a lot. And this one also look a little bit dumb. This next to him must be his caretaker. Oh, they introduce a new flat earther. This is how they do it. They introduce some new idiot I never heard of and promote him. And then direct you to his channel. And then he's going to talk a lot of Bible. And the same nonsense as Flatzoid want to sell you.
They go out to the Bermuda Triangle and they crash into the ocean. Yes, they launched something. They launched a friggin' balloon with a firework on the bottom of it. It curves out and it crashes in the Bermuda Triangle, out where no one is allowed to be.
100% proof. You want it backup? There's your backup.
How are people not watching his rocket?
You can't, because you can't. They go right out into the Bermuda Triangle where there's no boats. And not that far away, it all just merges into the horizon. And they do 2 stages, so when it goes up, you see the 1 stage come down. That's the whole rocket coming down. The rest is CGI.
Because when they do shoot the rockets up, it just goes to Point Nemo. You know, to the most, what can I say, inaccessible place on Earth in the middle of the ocean, where there's a graveyard full of things falling from the sky in the ocean, and ships and so on.
Let's watch this live launch from Cape Carnival. And then also look at Marine Traffic Live to see if there are any boats in the Bermuda Triangle. Oh, I thought it was empty there. That changes the story. Each day There are hundreds of boats present at the Bermuda Triangle. And none of those boats and the crew on those boats never filmed something coming down. And again, it's more likely they send something up that totally burns up. That make more sense than your bullshit, idiots.
So the moon should have been on the other side. Okay.
The moon they should not have been able to see the moon because the moon the
there
moon
it
was
is.
down here.
Clown. What the fuck? Oh, it's Craig. What happened to you, man? Oh, when the globe turns so fast.
We attribute that to a force that we call gravity.
Look at all those beautiful satellites, people. Look at all that. In plain sight. No, it's satellites flying high up in the sky in space. They use balloons for their satellites. What are they launching here, you might ask, guys? Oh, wait, I know. Would it be a satellite? And that's what they're doing then. See? And it just picks up and takes some new images, and look at it. It's picking up the ship. That's how your satellites work, guys. Very simple stuff.
These are Starlink satellites.
Yeah, definitely not balloons. Odd.
What a clown. So Flatzoid. They're satellites, balloons, Starlink balloons that travel over the earth and pop up like clockwork on set times with almost 27,000 kilometers an hour. Oh there, we might get a collision. Oh shit! Oh, ow, nothing wrong. Flatzoid, it takes 17 minutes to pass over the ocean, traveling from South America to Spain. So that's about 7,500 kilometers, Flatzoid. In 17 minutes, Flatzoid.
Yeah, definitely not balloons. Odd.
Flatzoid, you're full of shit. But maybe there is a possibility those Starlink things is a natural phenomenon. And that's why they made up the Starlink satellites to cover up that fact. Maybe that's a possibility. They do that with the ISS. Something is flying around on set times. And this is the way they cover it up. Just bullshit satellites. And Flatzoid, do you really think balloons travel with 27,000 kilometers an hour? Or you only want your viewers to believe that?
Sorry, did Nathan ever make a claim with a radius? Has anybody here ever made a claim of a radius?
Echo chamber incoming. 3, 2, 1.
No.
Wow.
Flatzoid, you and Oakley making claims all the time. Elevation angles to Polaris.
Ding, 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 ding. Who from the panel wants to tell me where latitude comes from?
That are elevation angles to Polaris.
The globe has taken elevation angle measurements to Polaris to give you the latitude lines. And those latitude lines are then wrapped around a sphere. Thank you very much for the £20. Really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Yeah, latitude lines. That's a flat Earth elevation angle measurement to Polaris. Yeah, we do measure elevation angle measurements to Polaris to give us our latitude lines. and you do map those flat Earth angles onto a sphere. Your sphere came from a flat Earth, and now you know it, don't you? Elevation angle measurements to Polaris. Thanks for the super chat. Latitude lines taken from elevation angle measurements off a flat Earth to give you that grid. Just wanted to make that absolutely clear that we're talking about the flat Earth grid, the one that gave you your sphere, the one that came from a flat Earth and then got wrapped around a spherical surface, the one that's measured off a flat Earth. You know your latitude with an angle measurement to Polaris. Measure an angle off a flat baseline with 90 degree to, in this case, the base of Polaris, to give you your latitude on a flat Earth.
Are back engineered from flat Earth elevation angles to Polaris, where their radius came from. They hijacked flat Earth elevation angles, flat Earth measurements to Polaris.
The equator that's been derived from flat Earth elevation angle measurements to Polaris. Equator is a value that's derived from a flat Earth elevation angle measurement to Polaris.
We could start with the R value for the flat Earth equator.
That's how it works. How do you think your latitudes were derived from?
Let me guess. Polaris?
It's literally just taken to Polaris. We'd be looking from the equator, quote unquote, to Polaris.
Flatzoid, is this your claim about Polaris? Flat Earth measurement angles to Polaris, and you and Oakley never made a claim about the radius on the equator. Do you understand, Flatzoid? That is double speak. If you believe the sun is doing circles over the equator during the equinox, and it takes 24 hours to do a full circle of 360 degrees, then you can calculate very easy the radius of the equator. Flatzoid, if every latitude is derived from elevation angles to Polaris, and you measure 0 to 5400 nautical miles, then you and Oakley know the radius. And once you know the radius of the equator, you can calculate the circumference of the equator. Flatzoid, your cartoon claim the radius say 5400 nautical miles, or diameter 10,800 nautical miles, and that means you create the equator with a circumference of more than 33,000 nautical miles. What kind of idiot are you? Saying your claim about the sun doing 15 degrees an hour don't work with this circumference.
Remember, when you measure the sun's movement, it's measured at 15 degrees an hour. I mean, if the sun's always measured to be moving at 15 degrees an hour, it's always going to move at 15 degrees an hour.
We need to add at least 75% more speed of the sun, Flatzoid. Do you understand, Flatzoid? 15 degrees an hour don't work with that radius.
Sorry, did Nathan ever make a claim with a radius? Has anybody here ever made a claim of a radius?
Yeah, you retard. A radius of 5400 nautical miles. As seen on this picture here. 5400 nautical miles. All derived from elevation angles to Polaris. Pieces of shit.
The equator that's been derived from flat Earth elevation angle measurements to Polaris. Equator is a value that's derived from a flat Earth elevation angle measurement to Polaris.
The North Pole. So that distance from Mike's GP to Polaris GP is 5,400 nautical miles along the surface. You see that curve happening there. That curve is simply just to show it's all perspective based.
No, Flatzoid, we see that curved line because you draw it like that. Are you stupid? It have nothing to do with perspective. Get lost with your perspective. Anyways, I have enough of your bullshit. You liar. I don't understand why people still follow you. There must be very dumb breed of people. Anyways, bye bye, piece of shit, bye.
That's all, piece of shit.